This is Jarrod Horak, and I'm back with my last Kentucky Derby 2023 points race recap video. And I'm going to recap the final 4 points races: the Wood Memorial, the Bluegrass, the Anita Derby, and the Lexington Stakes. You can find all of my Kentucky Oaks and Kentucky Derby points race recap videos on my YouTube channel. And then we're less than a couple weeks to the Oaks and Derby now. So keep checking out my YouTube channel. I'm going to have a lot of Oaks and Derby related content posted in the next couple weeks. If you're interested in my full card analysis, Triple Crown series from Churchill Downs, Pimlico, and Belmont, you'll find those full cards at the runawayhorse.com on my sales page this spring. I have a pre-sale going on right now. You can purchase Kentucky Oaks Day, Stakes races, Triple Crown series full cards, other products as well. So you can go over to the runawayhorse.com, check out the products that I'm going to be offering, and you can purchase those now if you're interested. And now we're going to dive into those recaps of those last few points races on the road to the Derby, beginning with the Wood Memorial Stakes at Aqueduct for Saturday, April 8th. In that race, we had a huge upset in here, probably the biggest upset on the road to the Derby so far. And we saw Lord Miles, a horse that I liked at Gulfstream Park earlier this year. Actually picked him on top earlier in the Holy Bull Stakes. But he struggled a little bit. He wasn't able to do well in Florida, but chipping away from Florida, paid $120 to win in this race. He's had a great tactical trip, and he was able to just outfinish Hit Show, your heavy favorite. And Hit Show was breaking from the far outside post in here, and he was stalking the pace outside, and he just could not defeat Lord Miles in this race. And then a Todd Pletcher maiden, Dreamlike, was well clear of the rest in third. So that winner won by a nose. Hit Show was ahead in front of Dreamlike, and then it was more than 5 lengths back to Arctic Arrogance, Classic Catch. And then my top choice in here, Slip Mahoney, didn't have a good trip early. He was kind of wiped out at the beginning. And then Shadow Dragon was behind him. So this was a 12-horse field. Wasn't a particularly strong race. At least it didn't seem that way. And the Wood Memorial typically isn't a strong prep race for the Kentucky Derby. But Lord Miles earned his spot. And then Hit Show does have enough points to run in the Kentucky Derby as well. Well, the next race is the Bluegrass Stakes. And this one was a good race. At least the top 5 finishers in here, they are all going to run in the Kentucky Derby because they have enough points. So this may have been the deepest prep race on the road to the Derby so far. We had an 11-horse field in here. Clear the Air was a big 86-1 outsider, and he really didn't have any kind of shot, but he did impact the pace. He got out there, and he set the pace. Now, I picked Verifying on top in here because I thought he was going to set a good early pressing trip, and he would get the jump on Tapit Trice. But that really didn't pan out like I thought. I thought he would have a much bigger cushion on Tapit Trice. But Tapit Trice actually ran well, considering he likes to break slowly. And he had that inside post. And this time he had a good break. He was down towards the inside. And then Luis Saez steered him out on the backstretch and made an early move. And he got right up there. He was in 4th place. He was in a great tactical spot. And you just knew when it came down to stamina and in the stretch at 1 mile and 1/8 that the positioning between Verifying and Tapit Trice, you just knew Verifying did not have enough of a cushion, and Tapit Trice was most likely going to run him down, and that's what happened. Verifying did take a short lead, but Tapit Trice never let him out of his sights, and it was just a match race between those two, and Tapit Trice wore him down. Nice effort there as the favorite. Verifying more than 5 lanes clear of Blazing Sevens for trainer Chad Brown. He won the Grade 1 Champagne last year, and he ended up finishing 3rd. It was a good rebound after running so poorly in the Fountain of Youth Stakes for him. And then Sun Thunder for trainer Kenny McPeak picked up 4th, and then Raise Cane ended up your Gotham Stakes winner, rounded out the top 5 there. As I said, all 5 horses, Tapit Trice, Verifying, Blazing Sevens, Sun Thunder, and Raise Cane, all have enough points to run in the Kentucky Derby. And the depth of this race looked good. Visually, this was a decent race. The top 2 ran quality races. The next race is the Santa Anita Derby, and that was on April 8th at Santa Anita Park. 8-horse field in here, Grade 1 race at 1 mile and 1/8. And Practical Move was your even money favorite. And in the Los Al Futurity and the San Felipe Stakes, Practical Move won both of those races on the West Coast, and he was able to save ground, stalking the pace, slip up the inside, and win both of those races. And he did the same thing in this race. He set another ground-saving trip right behind the speed, snuck up the inside, and he was able to just last this time, though. This was his longest race yet at 1 mile and 1/8, and he just did hold off the Japanese invader Mandarin Hero to win by a nose. And then Skinner may have run the best race of any of them. He was wide, he was trying to close, the pace was moderate. Mandarin Hero was moving up along the inside. Practical Move was saving ground as well. Skinner trying to rally wide. He tried to make an earlier move, just couldn't quite get to the top two, but he was a clear show finisher. And then National Treasure was fourth, probably needed the race. That was his first start since January. He had a foot issue. He missed the start. He was not going to be in the Kentucky Derby, but he's one that I think he can do some damage later this year. So overall, Practical Move, 3 straight perfect trips tracking the pace. And he got the job done here. Mandarin Hero does not have enough points to get in the Kentucky Derby. And then Skinner, he's going to need a couple of defections as well to get in the Kentucky Derby. But out of the horses in this race, if Skinner can get into the Derby, I think he's a bit interesting at a price. I would consider him. Practical Move may take a bit more, too much action in the Derby. For him, I like him. I think he's a solid horse. Obviously, he's run some great races. He's got great tactical speed. But for him to think in a 20-horse field that he's just going to work out another ground-saving trip, I don't know that can happen. But his tactical speed does lead to good trips. But I don't know that he wants to go much further than a mile and an eighth either. He was very impressive in a mile and a 16th in the San Felipe. Just didn't kick away at a mile and an eighth, and now he's going to have to go mile and a quarter on the first Saturday in May. Finally, the Lexington Stakes was the final Kentucky Derby points race on April 15th, and there was only one horse in here that had to finish in the top 3 to earn enough points to run in the Derby, and that was Disarm, and he did just enough to get in. This was probably more of a Preakness prep, and First Mission was my top choice in here. He was bet down. He was the favorite. I liked him because I thought he could track the pace and get the first run. That's what he did. He did stalk the pace, and he was sitting in third, and then he moved up to second, took the lead, and he won by going past the pace setter in here, Arabian Lion. Is a bit distance challenged, but Arabian Lion ran a quality race. He got out there, he set the pace. First Mission was able to just get past him and win by a half length, and those two were well clear of the third place finisher, Disarm. Now, Disarm did pick up enough points to run in the Derby for trainer Steve Asmussen, and I think that he's one that the mile and a quarter distance is probably not going to be too bad for him. He's probably going to want more ground than he got in this mile and a 16th race, and he did enough to qualify, and he's in the Derby. And he's one that I wouldn't be shocked if he finished somewhere in the top 4 or 5 in the Kentucky Derby. So that wraps up my look at all of the points races. Again, check out all of my points race recap videos for the Oaks and the Derby on my YouTube channel, and then all of the upcoming content that I'm going to be having on the road to the Derby and the Oaks. We're less than 2 weeks away. It's getting exciting now. And again, check out my sales page at therunawayrhorse.com if you're interested in any of my products that I'm offering this year. And that will wrap up this video. And again, I'll be back with some more videos this week. And stay tuned to my YouTube channel. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.